Hi guys, I'm Shay Dempsey. I'm the Global Art Director for Sebastian Professional, have been for a while. And I usually talk to you, and I'm usually on set or I'm posting from the salon where I work. But today I'm a little bit sort of out of my comfort zone. I'm in a barber shop. Very, very excited to introduce a very, very good, young, smart talent, Aiden Xydis from Sydney. And this man here is going to come on I feel, a really, really exciting new journey when it comes to Sebastian as well. I don't want to talk too much about it now. We're just going to sort of introduce this man to you. And I met him first some time ago, and we sort of have a lot in common, but in other ways, I hope he will sort of take some mentorship from me as we introduce you into the Sebastian family, but also in another way that I will be sort of mentored by you in your technique and your skill. And it's amazing when it's one artist to another artist, when you're open-minded like that, it's so interesting for me to see how you work with hair or the fabric of hair in a different way. So Aiden, I mean, welcome to Sebastian. You come from a hugely successful hairdressing family. Unisex, your mom is globally known, your dad's the owner and sort of manager of the salon, but you didn't go down that road of unisex. You seem to veer more towards barbering. Why was that? Did you?
Well, I did do women's hair for a few years, and I just didn't feel comfortable. It wasn't really a home, it wasn't really a place where I could really be myself. I was always playing a role, being someone else's, hairdresser, and once I made that decision to jump to men's hair, like my whole world just came alive, where I could really be myself and be creative. At that point, just forsook women's hair and just went down the path of a barber.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really do that at my mum and dad's salon, so I had to go and do my own thing. So I ended up working in a barber shop and really getting down to the roots of barbering, down to the cutthroat shaving, to the clipper cutting.
The interesting fact for me was that now the barber shop is in your mom and dad's salon.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's interesting is guys still like to go into a unisex salon, but yet have a barber cut their hair and have the barber experience. So it's very, very new. To be honest, if you think of barber shops now over the last, say, 4 years, it's gone completely nuts. There's barber shops opening up everywhere. There's guys with beards. There's guys grooming. Even the barbers themselves are like fashion accessories.
Exactly.
But like, if you look at what you've done, is sort of flip that on its head. So obviously it's a huge success, but why do you think men still like to go into the unisex salon instead of going down the road to the barber?
I feel there's still a big stigma about barbers not being good. There was this whole thing where men would always go to a hairdresser because barbers never did a good job, even though that was never the case.
Yeah.
And I find that men going into a salon that has a men's area, it's the best of both worlds, and men can really find a common ground in both of the worlds. Instead of just going into one or the other, they can find that comfort zone. And obviously men really like to have a little look at the women that walk up and down the hallway.
Well, that was my answer.
Yes. It's a good addition, to be part of a women's salon, and obviously they do help me out a lot with, taking the bookings and escorting my clients through, and it helps me out a lot.
Yeah.
It just really creates a really nice vibe in the salon. It's not just a hardcore barbershop or a flamboyant salon. It's really its own thing, and that's why I find it is successful. Even with or without me, it in itself is going to be successful in just that vibe. And
do you think, like looking into the future when it comes to barbering, because it seems that barbering is not going anywhere but only up, it's just taking off like wildfire. Do you think we're going to see more salons with barber shops being part of them?
Oh yeah. I've noticed that in the past few years, indefinitely.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah.
Men are really starting to take care of themselves finally. They're actually making the step of going into a salon and saying, help me. Yeah. And they're doing it, and they're making themselves look great.
Yeah.
And it's a good change, because men now, spending money on themselves and really taking care of their whole lifestyle, not just what they look like.
The other interesting story that you have, and I hope you share it with everybody, is that you started, going to a barber to sort of learn your trade and whatever like that, and you did all your basic fundamentals through the barbers. But when it came down to shaving and it came down to the finer details, you told me that night that you did most of it online.
Yes, yeah.
So that's crazy to me. So if you think of my background being so structured in something, I'm 48 years of age, so we've got a few years in the difference.
The ages of anyone
but we went through a pattern that we had to go through, and it was something like a structured pattern, whether it was in different education. So when I heard you say to me, yeah, well, I went onto tutorials, and you mastered what you do through that. Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, like, obviously I was working in a salon, in my parents' salon, all through my apprenticeship, and they can do men's hair, but they couldn't necessarily give me what I wanted. So the only way I could achieve what I wanted was looking online, going to courses nearby. A lot of the time I had to travel to, well, I'm from Sydney, so I had to go to Melbourne and travel and work in the academies down there, and obviously I trained in sassoons and whatnot, but I had to go outsource my education. And when I was much younger, when I couldn't afford to travel, online, YouTube, just looking up tutorials and practicing on my poor friends. You know, it's all I could do.
And that was like shaving, or was it like barber fades? It was everything.
The majority of it was shaving, fading, everything. Anything I could get my hands on, anything I could really do, I had to really do on my own.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously I learned fundamentals in the salon. They did teach me the basics of men, but the hardcore barbering aspect of things, I had to outsource that education.
Let's talk about the barber shop.
Yeah.
Like, just little things for people to understand and how successful, for such a young man to have such a successful business. How do you do this? How do you work sort of these crazy hours? Do you have to just people walk in off the street, or do you have systems with the other salon downstairs helping you, or how do you run a system so smooth?
Well, good thing about having my salon in another salon is there's a lot of people that can help me out, because I am just one man and I am a young man too, so it's not like I can work magic. So the salon, we have a front desk. Obviously, they take my bookings and take my appointments, and when the client comes through, they take the payments. And it does help me out with my time management, because I can't, you know, I do clients in roughly 15 minutes to half an hour. You know, it's a very quick turnaround, so I can't afford the time to escort them through, take the payment, take calls, and make bookings. So I have to outsource that. So I'm lucky I don't have.
But it's appointments. It's not the old school lineup.
No, old school. That's dated. You know, men don't want to sit there and, you know, potentially sit there for an hour when they need to be in and out. They don't want that. Men have too much going on in their lives. They have to be on the run. You know, they don't want to you know, sit around and have a, you know, obviously they can have a beer and relax a bit, but you know, sometimes half an hour, it's a bit too much.
So what can you do in 15 minutes?
I could do a lot in 15 minutes, actually, yeah. I can do a whole haircut in 15 minutes, a wet shave in 15 minutes.
Wow.
I can even, you know, I do the full haircuts and I do the tidy ups, and tidy ups are standard 15 minutes.
Okay.
Haircuts, depending on the person, obviously, like when they call up, if I've seen them before, I'll work out how much time I'll need, and I'll say half an hour, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All new clients are obviously half an hour, just so I can work around it. And if they need less time, I'll put them in 15 minutes.
So do you think that, you know, guys are more regular or more loyal than the female clientele?
I believe they are. Men tend to be a bit more loyal, because finding a good barber these days, it's a bit difficult. You know, there are very, like, a lot of barbers around, but to find that one person, not necessarily the shop, the person that just you can get along with, that will make things, you know, I'll twist my day for certain clients of mine, loyal clients of mine. I'll squeeze them in when I know I can't do it, and I'll make my day run late because I will do that for them. And in return, I know they're loyal to me. Yeah. If I travel and if I'm not in for a particular day, I know that they'll wait another week on top of their haircut. Even if they're there every second week, they'll come in every month just because they want to see me. And to me, that loyalty makes me so happy, because then I'll bend over backwards for my clients. Oh. Yeah.
So if I'm down in Sydney and I make a call and try and get an appointment with Aiden, how much is it going to cost me?
A full haircut, which...
Yeah. No, I don't, that easy. I don't have too much hair. So, okay, a full haircut, what's it going to cost?
Full haircut is $60. $60. $60.
Okay.
Australian dollars. But a tidy up is $35.
Okay.
And a majority of my clients do get a tidy up. Yeah. Well, if it's the first time you come and see me, it will be a half an hour haircut.
Okay.
And then if I say, look, it only took me 15 minutes, or hey, you don't have a lot of hair, it's not a full haircut, I'll charge them half the price.
I know $60 to some men could be quite a lot, but if you think of now, when men's grooming, when you think of like what much time they're spending on, whether it's their scalp, their skin, their hair. Of course, they're going to put it into a haircut. You never have any issues with people paying you, do you?
No,
on prices like that.
A lot of the time, they actually feel like they're getting a lot more for their money.
Yeah.
Because they'll come in thinking they're going to pay $60, and I'm like, look, it's a tidy up. They're like, wow. They are taking more care of themselves, and they are looking for a place where they can really get a good service and get more for their money. You know, and a lot of the time, I don't even charge them the full price. And they love that. They love the fact that I'm bending the rules for them as an individual. You know, I'm not in it for anything other than making them happy. And that's what really makes it a successful business for me, is the guys are just average men that are very local, and they want to come in and have more of an experience than a haircut. You know, you can get a haircut anywhere you go. And not saying I'm better than anyone else. Everyone's good at what they do. It's just the experience that I offer. You know, they'll come in and they'll think they're going to spend a certain amount when they're going to spend a little bit less, because I see that they don't have as much hair as, you know, would be deemed a full haircut. They just love the experience of, wow, I'm getting more for my money. And it makes everyone a bit more comfortable in the environment. And they get a beer with their service as well, which really just...
Free beer.
Free beer.
Okay.
I can't sell it. I can give it free. And a scotch as well.
Anything else free?
Scotch.
Scotch. Okay.
No, nothing else though.
Great. Okay.
I got to have a limit somewhere.
I have to get to Sydney then for a haircut for sure.
Well,
you also said you educated the guys. You'd sort of give them a free.
Of course.
You give them some free things when you'd sort of give them a facial or a little scalp massage or whatever like that. And
100%.
That really sort of gets them going in a sense of like, oh, this feels great, because sometimes guys can be a little bit sort of off when it comes to that.
If I got the time, I'll do it all.
Yeah.
Like if I have an extra 15 minutes and a guy who's like a bit curious about what a facial feels like, like, well, I got time. Let's lay you back and give you a facial. And then a lot of the guys are a bit like, whoa, what's that? And you know, it's up to me to be like, look, mate, it's going to put you to sleep and it's going to make you feel great. And it's opening men up these days. Men are really taking a chance with certain services and really starting to feel, you know, pampering themselves almost.
This brings us to why we're here, why we're having this great chat. And as I said, welcome you to the Sebastian family, is that we are launching SEB MAN. And you are a huge part of SEB MAN. We're just really excited to see exactly what you're going to create for us over the next year. The techniques that you're going to show, the methodology, the education that we can learn from you, but also to give us an insight to really what the products can do, in a sense of like how they react to the hair, how they react to the skin. You know, this is what you do all the time. Yeah. So for me, I'm going to be educated on that side of things, even though I've been involved in the whole process. I've been so excited working with the team. Now we're actually going to see the product work. Yeah. And that for me, as being a visual and being, you know, an artist like yourself, I want to know, you know, what it says, but exactly what it does. Yeah. So for you, like, can you explain to us what SEB MAN is, a grooming line? Like, what does it have that excites you, or what does it do that is something different?
SEB MAN to me is a very versatile grooming product that is very multifunctional. You know, each product has multiple uses in the hair, and also some products on the body, the beard, and the hair itself. And to me, I find that very much of a very valuable aspect of the product. You know, a lot of products are very niche to one specific look. These products cover multiple bases in itself. And I find that very useful, because it's a very good selling point to clients. You know, instead of just getting one thing, they're getting multiple. And to me, it's amazing. Yeah.
Because do men, like in general, do they buy a lot of like shampoos? Do they buy a lot of products? Do they layer their products? Or are they inclined to be more of like a man would just come buy like one product? Or are they inclined to buy 2 and 3 products?
Most men will buy one product. Shampoo is obviously the biggest, because men will wash their hair every day. They'll buy a shampoo, and then every couple of times they'll come and get a conditioner when they run out. But they tend to stick to the one product. Once they find that one thing that works, they tend to stick to it. Yeah. And obviously there's the occasional man who says, oh, I need a product that's shiny, I need a product that's dry for specific events.
So that would be the style.
That would be a different style.
Transform their shape or whatever like that.
Exactly.
So they're going to need a different
from slick to matte. You know, there's multiple different ways some men want to style, but mostly they don't put it in their hair every day. They just want something that they can rely on when they need it.
Yeah. And do you have any favorites? Do you have a top 3?
I do. At the moment, it's the groom, the hair and beard oil. Obviously, I like to keep myself nice and oiled. The player.
So you can use it in your hair and your beard? Yes.
No, it's actually really good like that.
Just
literally just
straight in.
It's actually really helpful.
Perfect.
The player, which is like a gel. I love putting that in my hair and slicking it back because I always like the wet look in my hair. Keeps my hair nice and tidy. Just put a bit of that in and tie it up, and it gives you a really nice firm hold in there. And obviously the multitasker, because it's the hair, face, and body wash. To me, it works amazing. You know, just all in one. I don't even need to grab a different product off the shelf in the shower. I just lather my whole body in it. It works so well.
But one of my favorite products in the lineup is the cooler. It's something that it's so refreshing on your scalp. Is that something that you're going to sort of bring in as a service or an extra service in the barbershop? Because to me, the sensation alone is definitely, once you have it once, you're going to want to have it again.
I added it to my service list, and that really just upsells my services as they are. You know, before I put the product in and let my clients go, I spray it into the hair and I just massage it in and really spread it around the hair, and it really wakes them up and really revitalizes their skin before they even leave. And that you know, is a great additive in the salon. It really does just make it that little extra special. You know, it's a little bit more close to home with them, Yeah,
because it's so refreshing. You must feel like $1 million.
It really does cool you down. It really does boost you up as well. Yeah.
You work from the scalp right down then onto the face. So you do facials. What other services? You shave? Cutthroat
shaves with the long blade, 100%.
Okay, cool.
And now that SEB Man, they've actually brought out new shaving products, skin products. They got the Protector, which is a shaving cream, and they got the Gent, which is like an aftershave balm, and they really are amazing. Like, they've kicked out my other shaving creams that I used before SEB Man was around, and they're actually amazing. They really smell nice. They feel great on the skin. They really do so much. Like I said, they're all very multi-purpose, multifunctional products, and they don't just, you know, make the shave better. They just also help the skin, so it really just revitalizes everything and brings it back to life. It really helps out.
This has the qualities, but it doesn't have the
aftershave balm isn't just, there are the aftershaves, and then there's the aftershave balms. This one actually incorporates both. So it's not just, you know, you have to put the aftershave and burn the skin down and dry the skin out and whatnot. This just shuts it all down and really cleanses it out for you, and really just almost cuts out a step by incorporating it into itself. That's why it's multifunctional. I really enjoy that fact, as in, it saves me time. I don't have to reapply or two different applications. I can just put the one on and it works perfectly.
We, you know, as the team, have spent a lot of time on the design. So whether that was just through the ingredients themselves, whether that was the scent, the packaging, you like the packaging, you like the ingredients, you like what it does to the skin, the feel, the hair, because we've never had a skin line before. So this is something that it would be sort of interesting to hear how you sort of reacted to the creams, the shaving balms. Again, I don't do any of that type of work. So, I mean, you can give us a little bit more feedback. You know, do the guys like the scent?
Well, to me, the guys are loving it because the packaging now is very masculine. It's very targeted to men, and men are obviously very visual. You know, you see a product that looks like it belongs to a man, they're going to pick it up and be like, oh, what's this? And it's very masculine. They open it up and they smell it and they're like, wow, like it really is targeted to men. You know,
it's manly.
It's some manly stuff. Even the color scheme is quite amazing, and the ingredients in itself, like, it's got guarana extract in it, so that's very, you know, targeted towards a younger audience, very masculine in itself. So it's really like a standalone product in itself. And also,
yes, Aiden, how color coded? Can we just go? How color? Let's just. There you go.
There we go.
That?
Isn't that
that's
just
impressive?
Let's just zoom in on that, right?
That's impressive. Well, Aiden, thank you so much for all your input today. You know, I've learned a lot from the education of what you've given me on the inside of the products. But we are definitely going to see a lot more of you. I know there's a lot planned for you in the next year ahead.
I mean, hope so.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's education that we want to see, your involvement with the collections of what you're going to create for us, and obviously as well to see, for me, from a hairdresser's point of view, your skill set and see how you sort of create these amazing looks. So From an Irishman to an Australian, I cheers you.
Cheers, mate. It's great to be part of the team, hey?
Cheers.
Cheers. Here we go.